Hello, welcome to NOLA Stamping. I'm Barb Baldwin, and today we're going to be making a fun slimline card using the Weekend Adventures paper. I just really like how the patterns all go together, and they can be masculine or they can just be a regular card. So let's go ahead. We're going to be making a slimline card, which is 3.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and it fits in a regular like business class envelope. So it's the same price to mail as a regular note card. It's just a little different of a dimension. So I'm using the two-tone cardstock, and I'm cutting a piece that's 7 inches tall by 12. I'm taking the whole 12 inches. And then I scored it at 3.5 inches, and then rotated it and scored it at 8.5 inches. So like that way it'll fold in half, like for the card base. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to count over 2 inches. I'm just making a little mark there. And then on my paper trimmer, I'm going to cut from that 2 mark spot to the that 3.5 inch score line. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop it back in my trimmer, and I'm just going to use the paper cutter to go right up to that score line. That's the like 3.5 or the 8.5 inches from the edge, and then I'm going to fold back half and then just cut off the little bit. So then we're just going to have like a little extra sleeve that folds over. It's totally extra, but I think that it really shows off like the two-tone nature of the cardstock. So it's just a kind of fun little element. And it makes a little nice pocket. So we're going to go ahead and cut 3 inches off of that DSP. And then we're going to cut one piece so that it's 3 inches by 7 inches. And then the other piece ends up being about 3 inches. But what I'm going to do is sort of line up my paper. This is my no math, me being lazy and not wanting to measure too much. So I was like, I would like the angle to be the same. So I just sort of figure out where it would go, like with that pocket, and then move everything over. So then that way I'll have that same border all the way around. So if I move it, if I'm using that 1/4 inch frame all the way around, then that way, like I'll have a 1/4 inch frame on that pocket side also. So I'm just going to line up that line and trim it off with my paper trimmer. Okay, let's get to stamping. So I'm going to go ahead and use Early Espresso. The crumb cake, I'm using the light side for the interior, so then I don't need another like sentiment panel. But if you felt that it was too dark and hard to read, go ahead and put a sentiment panel on there. I think that it's light enough that you'll be able to like write and put a little message in there if you like. So I am using the stamps from the Paper Tags set, which is an online exclusive. And I really love the little tags. So I'm using a lot of the tags and the dies that go with it. It's fun. You can always just do the regular card base and then just decorate it the way that you would like. And like the tags are all pretty much just decoration. So I went ahead and stamped the It's a Wonderful Day to Celebrate You. And then you'll notice that I put the die upside down. So then I had to go back and do another one. But that's all right because it's a kind of fun little tag. So I'm sure I'll use it someplace else. And then I'm going to cut out the little banner. And I have another stamp set that from, I think it's retired now, but it said Round We Go when it had like hip hip hooray. So I cut the hip hip part from the hooray. Since it was like a photo polymer stamp, I could do that. And so now I can just use that hooray wherever. And then I'm just going to pull in that hip hip also. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut these real quick. And you can run them through your machine. If only I could speed it up like this in real life, that would be really cool. But unfortunately, no. So for the hip hip, what I thought would be kind of fun is to cut out the banner, so the shadow of the banner is going to be on that sleeve side of the Slimline. So then what I'm going to do is, with a daring do and a steady hand and a little piece of little tack of tape, what I do is I go in and stamp the hip hip hooray. And I figured if I messed it up, I could always sneak another little piece of paper underneath it. So, like, if you don't want to stamp on your card, which I totally understand, you can always do it on another piece of paper and then sneak it in underneath the little corner. So these little banners are designed to go around the edges of things. So I thought that would be kind of fun. And then I totally forgot and definitely glued down the little sleeve part. So I'm going to use some mini dimensionals to pop up the hooray. So it goes hip hip hooray on the little pocket part. And then I'm going to use my little snips, and I'm going to go ahead and cut off that little flag part so it looks like it just sort of folds around the edge. And then I'm using some tear and tape to create the sleeve, just because then that way the sleeve will be nice and set. But before I do that, I want to put down the paper for the other side. So we want to make sure that the frame all the way around is that nice 1/4 inch, so that everything sort of lines up. And then go ahead and push down that tear and tape. And there I am, cutting off that extra little banner part just so that it looks like it wraps all the way around. So I realized that I put the tag upside down. I didn't think that it would matter, but it does, because otherwise the sentiment would be facing the wrong way. So I went ahead and I stamped it again on a little piece of scrap crumb cake on the light side again. And then I cut out a dark back for it. And I'm just going to go ahead and use my nail file and sand the edges. That two-tone has a white core on it, which is fantastic because you can use that to sort of just show off. Like, it gives you a little bit of a border, and it's just kind of a fun effect to do. So that's how the card is all going to go together. The rest of it's all pretty much decoration. So I'm using the to the point punch, and I cut out a piece of that 3-inch paper from the Weekend Adventures, and then I cut it in half just to create like a fun little border element, so that your eye goes to the little tag that's in there, and it uses up a little bit of the space, and then it also ties back in with that paper. And I'm using the leftover heart that got cut out on the tag, and I put a little bit of glue on the back of it, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that in the center of that the punch. And then I'm using 2 ribbons, so it's the two-tone green ribbon, so that's out of the annual catalog, and then the gold striped mesh catalog, which is out of the May online, and I love that gold mesh ribbon. So I just think it makes everything look kind of fancy. The gold ties everything together really well. And I didn't want to tie too feminine of a bow around it, because I wanted to be able to use this as like a gender neutral kind of card. So I went ahead and I tied just a regular over under knot on it, And then I was looking at it and I was like, oh, it's a little messy. So what I did was I just grabbed my Baker's Twine Essentials in crumb cake, and I just tied one little loop all the way around it, and then it just sort of ties everything together. You could put a nice little bow on there too, but I just trimmed everything up. And I guess I could have let it hang with the, but it's fine. I think it looks pretty. So then it's just going to be embellishments. I was trying to decide whether to use like some green gems that I had, or like the new green hexagon ones. But I went with the holographic resin dots, which were another like May online thing. And just because it pulls together all of those greens in the card, but when you put it on the like the cream colored acorn sort of paper, it sort of pulls up that yellowy cream color. So it's kind of nice that it sort of pulls in like anything that's around it, that sort of color. But when it's on green, definitely looks a little greenish. So that's kind of neat. So I think this would be perfect if you had like a bookmark or something to give to somebody. Like this card design would be the perfect way to do that. Or you could tuck in a little gift card, or like if you have a couple, like a longish sort of thing to send to somebody. I like how this card came out, and I think it's a fun design. So I just wanted to say thanks for making it with me. I hope you made it, or you can make it your own. And whatever you do, don't forget to stay crafty.